It's really annoying because when I was in Hampstead, I walked past a charity shop and they had like a lot of miniature figures, and they had one which was like green and different. I like the interesting ones, and I was like, oh, that's a nice one. I got it for £2.50, and I was so happy with it. I went sunbathing. I don't know what I did, but I know I had it in my bag, and yeah, I've come home and I've gone to look in my bag, and all I found is the hair, which is kind of like a ponytail. But yeah, apparently, I did a research after a long time of looking. I managed to find out that the one that I got was poison ivy, and yeah, this wasn't actually the hair that was supposed to go with it. The hair that's supposed to go with it actually has. But I'm going to try and buy one, and it's annoying because look, I actually have the male one. This is the male poison ivy. You can see his body is kind of like it's got like poison ivy on it, and but the other one was more like it was a female one, and it had like a top and stuff. But I'll get it. I'll get it back. I've actually had a look online, and I get so addicted to things. When I start going on eBay, I was like, oh, I want that Lego figure and that Lego figure. So I might also get the Sleeping Beauty one. Depends. I'm not going to go more than £5 for one. I don't know. I was very good at buying those lot, but yeah, I these things are a lot more expensive now than they were 3 years ago. But anyway, I there's another topic that I should actually talk about because after I know, finding out that Elon Musk apparently has an older 18-year-old or something like that. I don't know how old he or she is, but apparently he's getting a sex. I don't know if I even believe this story because I'm pretty sure I've never heard about it. But then again, I haven't really heard about Elon Musk in general before a few months ago. So maybe he does have an older daughter or son that I don't. But yeah, when it comes to sex change in children, I believe very much so in gender fluidity and in letting people just be who they are. But I don't actually agree with sex change. And I think if you're 18 and older, and you generally want to sex change and you generally want to live as a female or a male, completely up to your choice. But from hearing all the things that I've heard about, the problems of having a sex change whilst you're a child, children can be very judgmental. They can be very harsh. If you are known throughout your classmates as a boy and then you get a sex change during your school age, it's going to come with a lot of bullying because people are going to know you as one sex and then suddenly you're in a different sex's toilet. There is going to be a shock to that. I don't know that many sex change people, but I know that there was one on Big Brother who I forgot Kamal, his name was, and then she got a sex change, and I worked with her in Talent Expo, and yeah, I'm completely okay with Zuleika. I think she changed her name too. I'm completely fine with people who want a sex change. It's your body, it's your choice. But yeah, because I already always knew her as a male. One time I saw her in the toilet and it was a bit like, oh, she's not a male. That was kind of at the beginning. I didn't know her for that long, but I think if you're in school with someone who's one identifies as one sex and suddenly changes to another, and then you start seeing them in the different toilet, it does, even if you don't want to be judgmental or anything, it does, it's a bit of a shock. And I feel like children can see it as a shock, and you should teach people that, reincarnation is the truth. Hence, if you're a boy in one life, you can be a girl in the next life. But I feel like the Matrix is like a really intelligent computer. Imagine these AI GPTs and just this super intelligent computer. And I feel like you need to have some respect for this super intelligent computer. If someone is too masculine, the computer might say, what, I think you're too masculine, I'm going to put you in as a female in your next life, and I'm doing this for a reason because I want to build up your femininity. Yes, you love being a guy. Yes, you were a great guy. Maybe you were a bit sexist. Maybe you didn't like women as much, or maybe you thought women were stupid. And, as a sort of punishment, it's going to make you a guy. Like, you might not want to see it as a punishment because that will make you want to change even more. But yeah, I feel like there's loads of reasons why someone should wait until they're 18. One, because, getting a sex change, having lots of, as a young person, you have all sorts of hormones going through you, and you don't really want to be putting extra hormones into you to make you feel different things. You know, you shouldn't be reliant with drugs, especially not sex change drugs. You know, if you feel like a woman, then you shouldn't need to take drugs to make you look more like a woman. You should just be, you know, how you are. But I still think you should wait until you're 18, because as you get older, your opinions change and your view on things change. You know, if I would love to bring Lincoln Park and Heath Ledger. I'd love to bring those two back to life, and I'm pretty sure that Heath Ledger would love to be a female. I feel like he has quite a strong feminine side, and I think he'd embrace a feminine body quite well. Lincoln Park, though, I've got a feeling that if he came back as a woman, I don't think he'd be particularly happy. I wouldn't be particularly happy too, because I think he makes a much better guy too. But at the end of the day, it ain't my choice. It's the Matrix choice. And if the Matrix, which is like a super intelligent computer that basically is everyone, you know, everyone is part of the Matrix. All our bodies, our souls, our everything is part of this Matrix. And you know, this Matrix does things for a reason. And I think to get a sex change when you're still young is kind of a little bit disrespectful towards the super intelligent, you know, machine that has given you a body for whatever reason it what analog what's the data it's done a big assessment of your soul, your past life. You know, if you've been a male many times before, you know, you're probably going to come back as a female, maybe not as a punishment, but just because it's your turn to be a female. And you need to embrace your feminine side and feel more feminine, because your soul needs to have both the male and the feminine. You know, if you're more feminine, then you could be learn to be a better mum, you could learn different skills and stuff. And so you know, I just Matrix happens for a reason. And if you want to get a sex change when you're 18, you know, fine. It's your choice, it's your life. But I feel like if you're younger, you might not necessarily know what you want, and you might be certain that you want something, and then you grow up and you realize you don't really want it. You know, I there's a lot of things that I wanted when I was a child, and okay, most of them was about me having Sabrina-like powers, which I still want. But yeah, when you grow older, you get more realistic, and your views on things change. And so therefore, you know, if you marry someone at 15, and people say that a marriage is illegal and should be illegal until 18, you know, I guess I get that. That's an interesting belief, because you know, marriage when you're too young, you don't really know what you want. But if the same can be said for marriage, then why can't the same be said for you know, a sex change? You know, when you're 15, when you're 16, you don't really know what you want. You might think you know what you want, and you might be certain that you want to change, probably because you were male in your past life. But I feel like you need to give being a female a try. And yeah, if I had a child who wanted a sex change, you know, I would tell them that exact same thing, which is that the Matrix has made you this sex for a reason. I don't really know what the reason is. You don't know what the reason is, but you should try and embrace it, or just be a masculine female, or just, you know, there's plenty of tomboys who love football and you know, love hanging out with the boys, and that's a good thing, because boys sometimes when they're younger need to hang around with girls to stop seeing the divide as being massive. And so, you know, if you are a masculine female and you're under 18, you know, this could be, you know, your chance to prove to boys that you are the same as them, without having to have a sex change, without having to have hormones put into you, without having to have your dick cut off, or had a dick sewn onto you. I'm pretty sure you don't do surgery, but you attach a dick onto children. You don't do that, right? I mean, that just sounds ridiculous, to attach a dick onto a 16-year-old because she wants a child. I mean, why not just attach a dildo onto someone? I mean, that's, you know, I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen. At least I hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, I know there's a lot of strong-minded children who might disagree with this, but you can't disagree with the Matrix. Okay, the Matrix is part of you, and you need to embrace that and respect that. So it's just something that I would legal, if it were my choice, I would make it illegal to have a sex change until you're 18, regardless to whether your parents agree to it or not. And yeah, if they want it after 18, then fine. You know, you've given being a female or being a male an opportunity for 18 years. You still don't like it, you still want to change, fine, that's your choice. But just give being whatever sex you are a chance, and realize that, it's not, shouldn't be about the sex that you are or the body that you have. It should be about the person you are.